Hey guys, James Wilson Taylor here for Roxanne and another of our video calls. We're catching up with everybody while we're all stuck at home at the minute. Delighted to say from Neck Deep, Ben's on the line. How are you, man?
Hey, what's up? Yeah, I'm good, man. I just got back from a little treat. A little treat. It was a treat of a trip to the Lake District. So.
Oh, very nice. Yeah, a little UK getaway. That's lovely.
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty grim weather. It wasn't really much of a summer holiday, but yeah, me and my girl and her family just went like camping for a couple of days. I've always done it throughout my life, and her family have always done it. So yeah, love a little camp out.
Well, exciting time to talk to you, really, because of course the album is imminent. Before we get into all that, I want to kind of chat a little bit about what you guys have been up to in lockdown, really, because you've been doing some really, really interesting stuff. Obviously, weird time to promo an album, but you seem to be taking advantage of things. Talk to me about like the Twitch and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, like you said, weird time to be promoting a record. But yeah, we were just really looking at what our options were and had to kind of take every available option, I guess, or at least explore every available option. And Twitch was something that we'd wanted to do for a long time anyway. It wasn't something that we were like, was kind of just a lockdown kind of idea. We'd wanted to do it for a while because me and West especially are big gamers, and why not interact with fans? But I think lockdown definitely accelerated that process. And just as a way to stay in touch with fans, stay active and be present. But I guess from that, actually, it's actually become a lot more than that. One of the things that we probably weren't so aware of is like the kind of little community that it would spawn. And yeah, it's sick. Like every time you stream now, you've got that core group of people who are there for every stream and who all chat to each other and interact in the chat. And it does feel like there's a little Twitch community that we've got building there. And each stream is kind of getting a little bit more successful as we go. And so while that's growing, we're also kind of garnering this cool little place for fans to chat to us and chat to each other and just generally kind of take their mind off the craziness of the world right now, really. So one of the better things to have come out of lockdown was definitely starting a Twitch career, I guess.
Yeah, your new second career. It's all kicking off. Twitch. Makes sense. Yeah. But it is nice. And like you say, I think that has been a really interesting thing with yourself and a lot of artists is actually finding new ways to connect with the fans and fans themselves actually finding new ways to connect with each other when they can't all be at gigs and in the same room and all that stuff. Case in point, the video, of course, all those fan contributions for When You Know. That's such a nice idea. And I guess my question there is, how do you wade through all those submissions and find the ones to put in the final video? I'm sure you're inundated.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how many submissions, luckily we've got a good team that kind of do that for us. If it was me sifting through submissions, it would never even get made. I'd probably get through the first, 100 and just be like, I can't anymore. I've got way too short of an attention span. But luckily we have a great team who kind of sift through all that stuff and find the best ones. And we kind of can go like, put this person in because we know like they're very active on Twitch or something, like they're one of our big Twitch fans, so put them in there and we kind of oversee it. But it kind of gets all edited together. And I mean, doing the idea of a fan video isn't exactly like a new idea. We've done them before and plenty of people have done them. So it was kind of just like we were scheduled literally that week to go and shoot a video for When You Know. And obviously I think it was that week that we got the country went on lockdown. So it was really just like what's a last minute fix that we've got for this, and that that will work and we'll get people engaged with it. And turn into our fans. Like I think in general, one of the things that we've realized like in this like lockdown period is that like just how active and important our fans are. And I think we've realized going into this record, like taking a swing at like mainstream success is kind of futile. I think it's either there for you or it's not, and it's kind of like it's not really the be all and end all. And really our realization was like that our fans, like just how important our fans are, really. And we've kind of like there was a lot of even from myself, to be honest, like going right, we really want this album to do really well at radio and blah 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 blah. And then I think as time's gone on, we've kind of just gone, this is for our fans. Like I don't really care about any mainstream success, really. Like the people who have got us through this, the people who submitted for our video, the people who are there watching us on Twitch, they're all our fans. So ultimately I think really lockdown has really just shone a massive light on just how grateful we are for our fans. Really, you know, it's not just like this thing where we're just putting out content for ourselves and just doing everything for ourselves. Like, there's a kind of a give and a take there now, and it's a real two-way street with us and our fans. You know, they can contribute to making something great for us in the same way that, you know, we think we've made a great record for our fans, really. So all of that's been sick. Yeah, really cool. And we honestly, cliche as it sounds, we legit couldn't have done half this stuff without fans. So
yeah, it's funny you say that as well about you know, looking at mainstream success, whatever that means these days, and building the fan base there as well. Because I remember talking to you kind of the end of the last campaign and everything. I think it might have been a quote you did in the mag, actually, but I've put it to you before where you were saying the next record, you want to have a load of In Blooms on there. And I don't think you meant it in terms of, I want all our biggest hits ever to be on this album. Yeah. I think you were talking about connection, right? About making those songs that find that wide connection with the fan base.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, I think, you know, like I said, I think I specifically had it in my head of like, you know, of wanting more success just to keep things going. And it's like, I think one thing I've kind of come to terms with is like, no, like that doesn't really matter if you're constantly chasing your own tail, trying to up yourself and you know, get on to that next rung of the ladder or whatever. It just takes away all of the meaning and the actual like real, you know, what's the word I'm looking for? Like a cerebral kind of experience of it, of like, this is just music that people connect with on a level, like on a real actual spiritual level at times. Like, I would turn to music in my darkest times, and it's the realization that our fans do that too. So yeah, definitely the focus switched from being like, oh, let's make this amazing record with a load of, you know, like, let's not make a record that's our biggest hit, 12 of our biggest hits on one record. It really just did switch sort of like just before we started going into recording, and we had kind of started developing this idea of the concept is that wasn't going to be the case, and really that this should just be a record that people connect with and that people fall in love with and people kind of get lost in, rather than like trying to just write 12 solid hits. Like, it's more, the content is more important than the kind of scope and where it lands you, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. And you alluded to it there. It's a world we're entering with this one. I mean, you've talked a bit about Sonderland and the whole kind of storyline that's kind of coming through it. And we've seen it a bit in the visuals and stuff as well. I guess my question there is, what were the challenges in putting that together? It's ambitious, and I think you pulled it off, having heard the whole record, but it must have been almost daunting a little bit to go, yeah, we're going to try something big here.
Yeah. Yeah, it was fairly challenging. Probably not as challenging as I would have thought it was going to be. I think like the most challenging part of anything, whether you're just trying to write one song or whether you're trying to write an entire concept or whether you're trying to write a fucking movie or a book or whatever, anything, is just getting that concept and is just getting what it's about. That first step of like, right, this is what it is, let's go. Everything else kind of, the dots kind of connect themselves after that. And so really, I think once we had set on the concept and I was kind of had an idea of how, you know, things were going to progress, like how the narrative was kind of going to flow, it actually happened relatively easily. And we had a lot of songs going into the studio beforehand that only really needed little tweaks here and there to make it make sense, because we had written, we're not writing about themes that we've never touched on before. You know, we're still writing about love and heartbreak and mental health struggles and this existential kind of awareness of, you know, what is my life and where am I going and what is my place in the world. We've written about all that stuff before, so in that sense it's not a hugely it's not like we're trying to write a political record or anything like that. It's like this, the subject matter is very much what we've always written about, so that wasn't too difficult. It really was just making those little tweaks that kind of allow a thread to flow through it all, and it not just be a collection of 12 songs, but actually be one big piece of work that's, you know, we feel is at its best when it's heard from start to finish. And I think as well, the environment that we were in, I've said this before a lot, like it was the easiest record to make in the sense of like just the creative space we were in, everyone's kind of mindset and attitude towards things. There was like absolutely no pressure, so I didn't feel pressured to like get things done, and you know, it was all very just take it easy, don't stress yourself. If you're not feeling that song, move on to another one. And hey, even if you don't write a single line tonight, it's fine, we're going to get plenty of other stuff done. And it was all just real supportive, and yeah, took away any pressure from being, you know, a stressful, difficult task. So yeah, but you know, ambitious, especially for Neck Deep, it's ambitious, but I think we just handled it well internally. Like we kind of all from the start said, like, let's just go with whatever feels right. Let's not force ourselves to write this song or that song, or write like this or that. Let's just, if it happens, it happens. Like if we write a pop punk song, cool, we'll put a pop punk song on there. If we write a sad song, cool, we'll put a sad song on there. Whoops, something's happened there.
You're back.
We're good. Glitch in the Matrix. And so there's just no pressure. And so it was just easy. It didn't feel like a huge stress.
That's great. That's good to hear. And I guess that definitely comes through on the record, because it does feel, it is, like you say, it should be enjoyed as a whole. I think individual tracks are, of course, great, but it really does add something when you listen to it from top to bottom like that. And it's really interesting to hear you say it had been sort of worked on for a while. I guess one reference I picked up on, whether it was, I don't know how far in advance you had that, but obviously the Purple Tangerine pops up in that In Bloom video, and that blew my mind when I heard that lyric. I went, hang on, we've seen that one before. How far in advance were you planning most of this record? When did it start to come together for you?
It started to kind of come together, I think. Well, I mean, we had gone to meet producers and met Matt Squire in sort of November, December of 2018. And so maybe, you know, probably about 18 months before we actually went into recording the record. So I'd say sort of mid 2018, we started writing and started working on it. Lowlife, the Purple Tangerine, but that was just like, let's get songs together. Like, let's start actively writing. I think because the Peas and the Panic was a little bit, it was quite a stressful writing and recording process. And I think we were just like, by doing it in LA, we just had so many distractions and so much kind of interference, and just, there was just a lot of just unnecessary stress placed on that record, which played into a big part of why we decided to do it in the UK and whatever. So I think for a while that deterred us from, we were like, right, because that was so stressful, let's just not think about writing for a little while. And we literally didn't write really anything for about a year. And then, 18 months before we went into the studio, we started working on this record. And but the idea of the concept didn't come until Blink, when I wrote Lowlife just on a whim of like, this is a stupid nonsense song that doesn't really make that much sense. And I felt like it was coming from, you know, a part of my psyche that Neck Deep doesn't often see. I mean, the guys in the band see it a lot, but like the musical side of it, the lyrical content doesn't really get this side of me. And so then I thought, you know, that doesn't feel 100% Neck Deep, but it could be. And then the idea of the character came up, and then just on a sort of just little light bulb moment of like, okay, maybe it doesn't have to be written from my perspective. And from there, the ball was just rolling on like, right, okay, so who's this character? Okay, what's his story? Where's he from? What's his thing? And just from there, the ball just started rolling, really. But the Purple Tangerine lyric, I think probably was just like, again, it was meant to be a nonsense song. So yeah, I probably was looking at Purple Tangerine and In Bloom video and probably just like, whatever. I don't even know. Maybe subconsciously it came out.
Hey, maybe. It's a nice reference anyway. Nice little nod to the past.
Yeah, I'll take full credit for it. If people want to think I'm like some kind of incredible genius for putting those two things together, sick. I will take all the credit because I'm a dumbass in reality. So any credit for me being intelligent, I will take it and lap it up. I'm going to get my monocle out and start twiddling my puny little mustache, and
we'll start searching the whole record for little Easter eggs from throughout your career and just take credit for all of them.
Every credit for every single one.
Absolutely, as you well should. I want to ask about the title as well. Interesting title. All Distortions Are Intentional. Why did you settle on that for the title of the record as a whole?
Well, really, we didn't want to name the record after a song or name it after a lyric. We always do that, and You know, I look at other artists who have these like really interesting song titles or really interesting album titles that, you know, don't bear any relevance to or any reference to lyric or any sort of content, and they're just kind of a standalone statement. I've always just thought that's cool. I've always just thought that that's like an extra little bit of effort, an extra little bit of thought that gets put in there that, you know, that artists would kind of go out of their way to single out this statement and put that as the album title. And yeah, I think we had just seen it on a piece of artwork. It was like a random piece of artwork from, I don't even know. I just saw it and was just like, that's fucking cool. That's amazing. And we contacted the artist, and he was like, oh, I just heard it on a radio show. He was like, I pinched it as well. He was like, I don't care. He was like, yeah, you can totally use it. He's like, it's not mine. It's not anyone's. They're just words. But I remember seeing it and just thinking, like, that is perfect. That just sounds like an album straight off the bat. And I was like, fuck, that sounds like an album. It fits with what we're saying in this record. It abbreviates nicely, and it just sounds profound. It sounds like something interesting. It sounded like it immediately caught my attention, and I thought, fuck, that works. That's it. That's got to be the record. Because we were toying with the idea of calling it Sonderland, which is great, you know, that's cool. But as soon as I said it, Sam was literally like, sounds like Sunderland, and we were just like, right, okay, we're not calling the record that then. And it was like literally this whole battle for like a week of like, what the fuck are we going to call the record? And then that came about, and I think, yeah, it just stuck. So yeah.
Yeah, works well. Oh, you've robbed us all of the Netflix documentary Sonderland Till I Die now. That's what I want in the future,
maybe,
which is very nice.
Maybe we'll make a documentary called that. Yeah.
If you do make a doc, you have to call it that.
We've actually got a short list of names. Like if we ever make a doc, that we've got a short list of names for what we'd call it. And I think Sonderland Till I Die has to go on there now. So,
yeah, that's top of the list, surely. It's the pun's too good to turn down on that one.
Yeah, you can't.
We're all missing live music, man. Of course, I do want to touch briefly on this because, you know, at the time of recording, of course, hopefully this tour will still be in the dates that it's currently in and all that stuff. And whenever that does happen, it's still going to be amazing. It's like your biggest UK headliners to date, absolutely huge, particularly the Ali Pali show. It's got to feel amazing to know you're going to be headlining that legendary venue, right?
Yeah, I mean, we've played there a couple of times, and yeah, we love that venue just because it's 10,000 standing. It's not 10,000 in seats and whatever else. It's just 10,000 people going wild who have full access to the floor, which is great. And obviously just a legendary venue. So yeah, just when we had those dates, like, oh God, it was, yeah, insane. Like to think that we could do it. And we were so confident that we would sell it out as well. We were like, yeah, we're going to sell out Ali Pali and it's going to be amazing. And then, you know, COVID happened and it was like everything just went out the window. And you know, we're holding on hope, you know, to hope that these dates will go ahead, but you know, the whole live music, live entertainment industry has just totally been turned upside down. And I think we're literally just hanging on for like a miracle of like some wonder drug vaccine comes out and everyone's free to go out in the next couple of weeks. But yeah, we'll see. But either way, you know, we're going to be back to playing shows at some point, and yeah, they'll be the biggest that we've ever done. It's that's all you aim to do.
Oh, absolutely, and it's exciting. And you know, as much as maybe they'll have to move. We don't know yet. But one thing I've been clinging on to, we did one of these with Raoul from Shikari, and he's obviously, you know, they've got their Ali Pali date coming as well. And he was like, if we have to move them, we have to move them. But I just want to know there's live music in the calendar. Do you know what I mean? Just having that date there, it's like a mental thing.
Dude, yeah, 100%. Like one thing that this lockdown has totally, you know, made us appreciate is the fact that we got to travel so much and the fact that we got to do what we do. Like, not that we didn't appreciate it, but like anyone can get, you know, can lose sight of, like, it becomes normal to play gigs in front of 5,000, 10,000 people, which is weird. It's weird to say, but it becomes normal. And you kind of go like, yeah, that's, you know, I know everything that's gone into it. And I know that what the lead up to it has been, and it feels right and it feels normal. To the outside, it's you know, this huge, amazing achievement. But for us, it seems like very much part of the process, and this is what's happening. with all that taken away, it's like, oh my God, all I want to do is play a show to one person, put one person in a room and let me play a gig. Like, that's all we want to do. And like, just traveling and stuff as well, man. Like, obviously being stuck in the house for the last like however many months, and been out and about, and like I said, just got back from a Lake District and that, but really being out around the world and yeah, just traveling has you know, it's made me realize how much I love that and how much I miss that. Yeah, it's like the one thing I'm like itching to do is just like, yeah, get out and get in a van and get on a bus and just go somewhere, or get on a flight and just go somewhere, and it'd be different than what I've had. So yeah, it's crazy, man. I've definitely got the itch to get back out on tour again. Like, normally when we don't tour for a long time, we get the itch and we're like, sick, we know we've got a tour coming up anyway, so you've got that date to look forward to. Whereas things are so up in the air now, it's like making that itch even worse. You just,
I'll bet. Oh man, I'll bet. I mean, everyone's in the same boat, aren't they? And then just everyone dying to get back to shows, whether that's bands or fans. But you know, it will come at some point. We don't know exactly when yet, but it's coming. It's getting closer. You can feel it. And I'll say that on a positive note. Actually, talk about live music. Before I let you go, I do want to ask you about something that kicked off basically since the last time we did one of these video interviews with you, really, which was that huge tour with Blink that I know you guys were all so up for. Obviously, you know, you've got to know Mark over the years, and you know, they were such an inspiration for you guys. How was it actually hitting the road in those huge rooms while they're playing that album? It's got to be amazing.
Yeah, like, there's no other ways to describe it other than a dream true. Like, it legitimately is. And it's weird, you know, because we played that one show with Blink back in like 2013, I think. And like, yeah, I could have called it quits there and I would have been happy with everything that we'd achieved. But, you know, I always said the only thing that would really top that for me would be getting to do a full tour with Blink. And someone's listening because it happened. So yeah, it was wild, man. And like, it's for me, one of the best things was being able to look at, you know, a band that you've looked up to your entire life, like people who you've idolized at points in your life, and know that they're good people, like genuinely down to earth, genuinely helpful and considerate, and like cared about us and our experience, and they care about their crew, which is something that we really resonated with. Like, knowing that Blink have got crew that have been with them for 20 plus years or whatever, it's like, sick. That's how we want to be. We want to be able to, you know, have the same people around in 20 years, and that be the precedent that, you know, we stand by. Is like, we essentially tour with our friends, and that's what they do. And, you know, just how hard Travis works. Like, Travis is you know, you picture Travis being Travis Barker and like, oh my God, he's always doing something. Like, he's always working. Even if you're just walking past his room, he's like, there's drums. Or if he's not playing drums, he's doing something else. And that was inspiring. I think seeing Mark just being the same guy that you'd always imagined him being, with the same sense of humor, the same kind of like care shown towards us, came and watched our shows most days, even if that was just to kind of fuck with us and try and put us off, and stand side stage with signs just like, I'm bored, you suck. And I'd be like, and yeah, like, you know, Skiba as well, like, how you imagine Skiba as just being this guy with a wealth of knowledge about weird things. He's exactly like that. You'll be chilling in the dressing room one day, and then he'll ride in on his bike and start talking about how his cat was a conduit for the devil. And so you're like, okay.
Sure. As you do.
Yeah. Right? And they're all just super down to earth. Really just still humble guys. I really haven't lost sight of like who they are and where they came from. And that was really like inspiring to see, because that's always been a kind of an important thing for Neck Deep, is to not forget where we came from and not ever get so full of hot air that we explode, you know. So yeah, being able to see that on that scale was insane. And all their crew were super nice to us. And, you know, I think we started off being like the little shits of the tour, because we were just so bored all the time. We only had like half an hour, 45 minutes of a show to play. So we would just be fucking whizzing around on bikes and skateboards and little scooters and shit, just annoying everyone. And yeah, I think once the dust had settled from the initial, like, these guys are annoying little shits, and they kind of just like got to know us a bit. Like the good times started to roll in. But at first, we definitely definitely a little bit annoying. But hey, whatever. I don't think Mark cared. I think it was just like a case of maybe don't ride a scooter through the crowd. Maybe don't start just skating through the crowd. That would be nice.
Good advice to remember when the live shows kick back. Don't bring your skateboard. Don't bring your scooter. Not always practical.
No, not always the safest thing when you're working with, especially when like Lil Wayne was on that tour too. So it's like, you don't really want to fuck with Wayne's setup. So just maybe just stop being little dickheads for a minute. And we're like, okay. But yeah,
fair enough.
And I think, that was there was a lot of endearment there. I think they found us endearing, just annoying, charming little British kids, really. Wisdom, America.
Nothing wrong with that. That's a good way to be, man. That's a good way to be right there. Ben, it's always good to chat to you, man. The album's great. It's going to be great to finally get it out there in the world and have all the fans hear it and everything. And looking forward to live shows and seeing what you guys do next, man. All the best to you.
Yep. Thank you very much, man. Thanks for your time. Appreciate you.
Pleasure. All right, Ben, everybody.